Okay, we've got Joe Krmpotich in the studio. He's running in the by-election for the NDP. Thanks for coming, Joe.
You're welcome. Pleasure being here.
So why are you running in this by-election? What made you want to do it?
Well, that's a good question, and we've been, locally, we've been fighting for decades, okay, for working very hard in Queen's Park and in Ottawa, and fighting for working people, and fighting for pensioners, and fighting for our people in our municipality to make legislation that helps better them and better our municipality. We've done that. I remember I was hired originally in the plant back in actually March 18th, 1975, and I started in steel plant making what was the base rate back then was $5.75 an hour. I originally, before then, I was a gas attendant making $1.25 an hour. That was the minimum wage. I moved my way up through a cyclical steel industry and managed to get educated at Algoma University, and I thank them for the leadership skills that I got. And from there I went on and working with the steelworkers and with SR Algoma Steel at the time, and here we are today. And
So now you want to be MPP. What one quality above all others do you think our MPP is going to need over the next year?
Well, the one quality for sure, and actually I gained it here at Algoma University, and through a lot of the training I had with the plant and with the steelworkers, is leadership. We need leadership. Leadership is going to be able to help us get us to where we all got to be, and I'm the leader that can do that.
Now, the Liberal candidate would say, you know, here we are, we've got a year, we're in a situation where we've got a by-election, so we have the chance, I guess, or we know that we could vote for the member of the governing party, which isn't something we usually have in a general election. You're obviously saying, don't do this. Why not do that?
I think it's time that we send a strong message to Queen's Park and to the Wynne Liberals. That Northerners' concerns and issues aren't being addressed and haven't been for years. And it's time we send that message. And the stuff I'm getting at the door from the people where we're talking to, there's a lot of concerns. There's people that, for instance, I spoke to a fella the other day that had basically worked all his life and wasn't able to get a pension and or benefits, eh? And this individual's now working out of his garage repairing a motor here and a motor there to be able to live. That's not the only concerns. I had another individual, a woman, expressed to me that they were waiting for a hip operation. A hip operation since August of last year. Her concern was the pain that she's in, and not only the pain that she's in, but the medication that's being put into her body to deal with the pain. She expects to have that hip operation a lot sooner than waiting this long since August.
So you don't buy the idea that by not having someone who's a member of the governing party that we're missing out somehow?
No, absolutely not. No, like I said, a strong message got to be sent to this government that Northerners and people in our municipality are being impacted by what's happening with this current government. And the concerns that we have also is the privatization and the cuts in services, and that's what's happening under with the Conservatives as well. Privatization, Conservatives, what they do is they cut services and they privatize, and that's a big concern for us.
So what would you say is the defining issue of this campaign, of this by-election?
Well, there's a number of them. First and foremost, we want to make sure that we have good paying jobs here for our young people, to have the same opportunities like I had when I was younger. We want to make sure that they stay in Sault Ste. Marie and they live and they bring up a family and they're able to help build our community, okay? So we got to ensure that the 3,000 jobs at the end of Queen Street are still there. But not only that, build on top of that as well. And there's a number of things we could do to be able to do that. Okay? And we talk about the port, we talk about other different types of infrastructure improvements, such as possible smelting refinery process here in the Soo with the Ring of Fire. Those are the kind of things that are going to be able to attract good paying jobs, $100,000 jobs for our youth. That's going to be critical, because if we don't start growing, well, we're going to be dying, that's for sure. And that's a concern I got. And the other issues we got is, of course, putting Hydro One back into public ownership and reducing the electrical rates by 30%. Those are, and universal pharmacare system. Okay? That's pharmacare, that's drugs for everybody, prescription drugs for everybody. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, and that's what people need in this municipality. So first and foremost, jobs, 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 for our young people to stay here and grow, and putting Hydro One back into public ownership.
So, last question. You become an MPP. What in your first 100 days, if there's one thing you can accomplish, what would that be?
Well, if there's one thing we can accomplish, is we can start setting the rules in place to make sure that the policies that we have, and we're moving forward with the NDP, are implemented as soon as we can get it done, because we will do it.